Hey there, Internet Kev here. Welcome to the CARSWITHKEAV YouTube channel. In this video, we're going over the IK Foam Pro 12. Is it going to be what takes my wash process inside this garage to a whole new level? Now, if you know from my previous video, that was the first wash in my completed garage build right here. There'll be a link below. But in that first wash, we trying to figure out the process. And during that process, we realized we created a ton of mist and we created a ton of overspray of soap on everything. Now in this video, we're going to try to do the entire car in what I think is the right amount of liquid for it. So this ranges in price, and I'll give you three different sources. You got $116 from the Rag Company, which they're kind of partnered with IK. You have DIY Detail at $110.99, and Amazon, which fluctuates right around the $112 mark or so. Now, one thing about the DIY Detail at $110.99, it's cheapest already, but guess what? They have free shipping on anything over $49. And if you use my code below, CARSWITHKEAV, it'll save you 10%. You better pick this bad boy up for exactly $100. First thing, quality. The plastics are good quality. The build is really good quality. It's rugged. The base at the bottom right here, it keeps it from basically being able to almost be kicked over. I mean, it keeps really good balance. When you have liquid in here, it's not going to fall over. These straws have siphons at the end and they're different sizes. That's what allows the different types of foam. So it's the full tube and the siphon itself. It goes inside the assembly right here. So initially it's pump spray. So you can unlock the top and spray. It does a good volume of air, but I am not going to be the person that ever wants to really pump this stuff. On this little assembly right here, there's a little silver piece. It is a number 4 Allen. Take that off and then we'll put the Schrader valve in there. The great thing about the Schrader valve is it's really well sealed. It only needs to be hand tight. Now on the opposite side you have your relief valve. You just pull it up, relieves air, or you can pull it up and then turn it a little bit and it locks open. It has a green indicator and a red indicator. So as you're pumping up air in this, it stays in the green. The minute it hits red, it starts relieving pressure to keep this from exploding. You also get a little rectangle right here that has 20 pre-cut filters. They're all little circles and they go in the end of the wand right here. At the end, you can change them out. Now the siphon that's in here is the gray one. Right now it is the standard, which is basically that middle line for most applications. And we're going to use our rinseless wash, and we have our incredible suds. So the biggest thing about pump sprayers, air compressed sprayers, obviously, if you have a pump spray, you can fill it all the way up. You'll have to keep pumping it as it goes. But it's usually best to fill them up about halfway. So you got half liquid and half air. That gives you a large capacity of air and a longer spray. The higher you fill it up, the less air is in here, the more often you're going to have to either pump or put air in it. So I've already talked to DIY Detail, and I've already tested the dilutions, and they're pretty dang good. 32-to-1 for either one of these. So basically 1 ounce per quart. We're going to fill this up to the 2-quart mark. We're going to put 2 ounces of rinseless wash in here. We have our proportioner here, linked below, that allows us to measure the right amount every single time. All right, that's 2 quarts. You can see that's a ton of air capacity. We're just going to be able to spray, 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 and spray. Let's turn top and get it locked down. We got our compressed air. I would suggest 60 to 70 psi limit on the air compressor, so you don't do too much. It's going to take forever to fill this up. There we go. About 16 seconds. Before we get any further, there'll be links below to everything in the video. There's one thing I want to highlight. A friend of mine owns a company called Gates Innovations, and they do BMW key service, where they take your plastic. I mean, you're paying, you know, MSRP is $60,000 on a car, and it comes with this plastic thing right here. He can convert those into digital keys that are touchscreen or metal and just kind of a nice weight to them. So you see it's a nice high quality screen. You can lock, unlock. You can also swipe to get other options. Now hit that like button if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you like the content. Let's go get the testing. Now, one thing I did notice when I was doing my testing the other night, the spray on this is extremely wide. So I still don't know with this if I'm going to be able to stop having overspray. That's pretty good. Pretty good foam for a pre-rinse, right? It does have a few skips. You can hear it sputtering. This thing just sprays so, it's just so wide. And like in the little spaces there, I was struggling at the rear to, you know, use this a longer wand. I wonder if I might be able to put this tip here and not have to have this wand. We'll see if we can do there. I mean, it works. It is a little cumbersome. And like I said, look at this spray pattern. I'm hitting the top of the window and the bottom, and I'm still overspraying the roof and hitting my, you know, shelf on the other side. And you can see it, the longer you wait, the more coverage you can get. But obviously you're going to use your air up really quick, and this is a pre-rinse. It's more about getting the car covered, getting a lubricated, you know, soap on there to help with this rinse, get a little bit of that dirt off of there as well. You know what? I think what might work is I'm going to loosen this up, and I'm going to turn this little piece sideways so I can spray up and down rather than with that fan. Now that might work better. Now towards the end there, I changed the tip. I loosened up behind it, and then I moved it to where I'm spraying like this instead of like this. And it's controlling that overspray a little bit better. So once you're done, you're going to need to put more liquid in there. Obviously you have to release air. You just pull, turn a little bit, and let the air out. Now you're going to start seeing a lot of mist come up in here, and this is all part of, you know, dialing in this setup. Am I going to even be using a pressure washer anymore? Well, there's that mist I was telling you about. I may have to end up changing my entire wash setup to where I'm only using a pressure washer from the windows down, and the top of the car is only going to be just regular water. I'm always going to be using a contact wash, so it's going to get clean that way anyway. All right, let's put 2 ounces of Incredible Suds in here and 2 quarts of water. Now, Incredible Suds is so thick and so concentrated that I can't really use a proportioner because it's just too thick for the straw. Put that in there. We'll mix it in a little bit with the water as we fill this up. I usually pour a little bit in here. Get that little bit of soap out of my container. It's hard to tell the difference between foam and water. Yeah, there's the water. I can see it now. All that blueness. Now, one thing I don't want to confuse you, on the rating systems on the side, there is liters on one side, it's 2 liters, but half gallon is right there. I say 2 quarts just because I'm used to saying it, but it's really half gallon is the mark that I'm going for. Well, what we have here, we kind of pigeonholed into this long wand. We're going to undo the pressure valve and fill it up with air. Then you tap that down once it's released its pressure. Here's wet foam. It was thick enough to activate my comfort access on my door handle. I'm just going to go ahead and do the whole side of the car so you can kind of see and how it dwells. This is with the gray tip, the standard. Definitely thick enough to set off the handle again. It does look thicker as well, as you can see. Word of advice, if you're going to be spraying off the car, foaming the car, cleaning the car, put your keys somewhere where it's not going to be constantly activating that comfort access. Here's what they call dry foam, or in the instructions I saw, snow foam. So let's check it out. Yeah, it's definitely more of a powdery. You see, it's a lot harder to cover because it's such small particles. It's harder to cover an area. Well, you saw the three different levels of foam, and I really think the gray, the standard, is the best way to go. It works with both of them. It gives me enough foam, enough dwell. As you can see, when it was dry, it was thicker, but it was hard to cover. It was coming out like snow, like these little particles were being splattered, and it just took forever to coat the surface. Well, that was the whole car. We did it in one coating. We have plenty of liquid left, plenty of air left. Let's go back and get it a little bit thicker. I just want to make sure I was able to get the whole car in one application. Some people, this is enough. It just doesn't have enough air. So we're going to fill it up with some air and see what happens. You can see the liquid is still above the bottom piece here. There's still a lot of liquid left in there. There we go. Foam time. So this is the consistency I'm looking for right here. You see we're having a little bit of uneven, it's not consistent spray. The spray is consistent as long as it's continuing to spray. Every time you stop and start, you get, see, that spatter right there. A pretty good thickness of foam. Not exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something maybe a little bit better. I think what we could do is do it in sections. I don't think we have to foam the whole car. Pre-rinse, yes. Pre-rinse, rinse. But the foam part, we can just foam the windows, the roof, the hood, mitt, rinse, and then move on to each panel. We don't have to necessarily foam down the whole car. We did have to fill it twice in the beginning, and then halfway through it was spitting and spattering there towards the end because we didn't have enough pressure. 2 quarts, more than enough liquid to create the foam that we need. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got plenty of information to make an informed decision on your part. Is it good enough for my wash process? I'm not sure yet. I got many other things to try and hacks to do. Stay tuned to the videos coming. Check the links in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.